back to Wine and Chill, your home for all things legal shenanigans and millennial adulting. I'm Stephanie, and yes, it is the first week of the month, which means we have student loan update, but also this is like a special version of my monthly student loan updates. I was on TV talking about my student loans. Life has maybe come full circle. So instead of our usual walkthrough where I tell you, how much I've paid off, etc., and like usually we talk about one specific thing, I have an agenda today because there are a couple of things I want to tell you / confess that I've done with my money. So we're going to talk about my student loan payoff updates for the month of January. So it's February's updates, it's always retroactive. And then we'll talk about being on a student loan news segment in the NYC News, which was pretty cool. And then lastly, yes, y'all are going to be so ashamed of what I did. I may or may not have bought some meme stock, AMC specifically. We're gonna talk about that because confession is good. So let's hop into it. So first and foremost, remember I told you I was getting a new job? I'm super excited. I was like, oh, I'll be getting a little bit more of guaranteed money technically, because although my last job, I didn't have a bonus structure set in place, every once in a while, I would ask for my raise and they would say no, and then they would just give me a discretionary bonus. Silly. But anyways, so this place I made sure to make sure that my salary was all encompassing. So I'm gonna make base salary about 10 grand more technically. So that's great, which means I will be able to up my percentage to 70%. And I am gonna cut back significantly. I was doing 65% of my paycheck was going towards my student loans. Now we're gonna do 70%, and then I'm gonna try live off 30%. I think that should be fine. But a large oversight on my end. So my old job, I worked the first week of January, and then I put my notice in December. I worked the first week of January, and I was like, okay, great, I'm gonna have 1 week off, and then I'll start my new job. In hindsight, that is because I assumed my new job was gonna be on the same pay schedule as my old job, and part of me deep down was like, Stephanie, you should ask these people. And then I didn't ask them because I didn't want them to be like, why does it matter to you when your pay schedule is? Because I have asked before, and then like the HR person or the recruiter was kind of like weirded out about it. As in like, why are you asking? Is your money funny? And it's like, my money's not funny, I'm just trying to budget. So I felt a little bit afraid to ask, which is so silly. So I didn't ask. I should have asked, because you know what happened? So I got paid for 1 week for my old job. I started my new job on the 19th. And then what I assumed I would get paid on the 30th, that's not how their pay schedule works. So I have literally been only paid at that job for 4 days, even though I've worked for 3 weeks. Yeah. The following week, next week, the second week of February, I'll finally get my first full paycheck in literally over a month. Yeah, so note to self, if you get a new job, before you quit and you set up how you want to do that, ask your new job what their pay schedule is. Because if I knew they were on a different pay schedule, I would have just stayed in my old job an extra week, taken my week off, so then I would have got a full paycheck for my old job. Because my old job, I only worked for a week, so I only got half a check. So I've literally lived in January off of 11 days of pay. The bright side of that, so then I had to look at the bright side, which means I had to shuffle around my entire budget. So this has been the lowest amount that I've paid so far from start paying off my student loans. I only paid $1,500, which made me super disappointed in myself. But then I had to put in perspective, when I graduated from law school, my first full-time job out of law school when I worked in entertainment, I made $30,000 a year, which after taxes came out to $24,000, which was literally every paycheck, every other week was only $1,000 in New York City. Yeah, so I've come a long way where I'm like, oh, my smallest payment this month was $1,500 to my student loan. So in perspective, lesson learned on my end, don't be afraid to, be upfront with people that you are a financially savvy person and you are well planned, because screw what they think about it, it's none of their business. So I should have asked. So into the numbers, so this month, yes, I only paid, well, last month, because retroactive January, I only paid $1,500 of my student loans. That went to Sally Mae. So that's good. So now we're down to Sally Mae, where I only have $3,427.96. It will be done this month. So next student loan update, I cannot complain about Sally Mae anymore because she will be gone. It will just be Fed loan, which that is such a huge feeling, because my Sally Mae loan is my bar study loan. So when you go to law school, you have to take the bar. You can take out a separate private loan for that because you have to pay for bar prep, which is around $3-4 grand depending. That loan is a 10% loan that you're not allowed to refinance. I've tried to refinance it so many times. So I'm super glad. So next time we talk, I will be done with that. Also, it's interesting to redo my budget and see like, hey, I could live off of $11. I mean, $11, child. 11 days of a paycheck on my current salary. And I'm like, wow, I've come a long way from literally making $2,000 a month to now I make well over 6 figures. So hopefully that encourages y'all. Also, some kind of news. Last month, January, was the first month I didn't hit the $100 threshold on AdSense. I had taken 3 weeks off of YouTube. Completely my fault. Completely. 1 week turned into 3 weeks. I was like, I'm just gonna take a break. Sometimes like some of these people in these comments are a little aggressive. Not on like the student loan stuff, usually it's fine. Although there are always a few people that will just pop up and they're like, why did you take out so much money? I'm like, this is a moot point. The why is irrelevant. Also, go watch the old video if you want to know the why. And why are you so bothered to sit here and comment and bother me? So I kind of took a little break, and then yeah, that didn't go so well. So yeah, last month I made $80, but you have to 100 to hit the threshold. So that's okay. This month I'm pushing out much more content. And the $80 will roll over into February, and then plus whatever I make in February. So then I'll get paid out in March. So that was an interesting lesson learned. So fully for my student loans, all I have left is $245,781.47. Still sounds like a lot of money, but remember, I started at $304,000 last year Valentine's Day. So we are getting there. Next, onto something fun and random, and look at God. Between me and y'all, because I feel like y'all know me the best out of all of the people that are subscribed to my channel, to be honest, because I talk to you guys about my personal stuff, aka my student loans. I was feeling kind of low, was kind of over it. I kind of wanted to walk away from YouTube a little bit. It was just a lot. It's a lot to work full time and then to try to do this and then to be like, oh, but is it really getting me where I want to be? I don't know. So then January came, I was like, I'm gonna have a good attitude about it. Then I didn't hit the number in January, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna have a good attitude about it. I'm trying. You know, just gotta keep on keeping on. It'll happen. So randomly, one of my good friends reached out to me and was like, oh, hey, do you want to be on TV to talk about student loans? And I was like, what? All I do is talk about student loans. Yes, yes. So I'll show you a little snippet of the segment where, first of all, I did not know that the news reporter was going to go stand in front of my law school. So yes, you know, y'all know I did go to Brooklyn Law School. Very expensive. Also, I think it's great. Even though I've paid 60 grand. This is crazy. But yeah, so here is me in front of school. Also, look at the super nice shout out to the channel. It made me so happy to see it. So that was just really exciting. I don't know. There are so many things I want to do with my one life that was a great step in the direction of things that maybe I want to do in my one life, which is bring awareness and talk about this on a larger platform. So, you know, can make this channel a larger platform. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Last but not least, time. And oh yeah, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. If you want to, I know I asked you and some of you were like, it's not gonna pass. I don't wanna talk about the legislation. I completely agree. It's not gonna pass. So part of me doesn't even wanna go through the legislation, but yeah, that's kind of, I don't believe it. I don't. I would love to. I would love to be that person that's super optimistic and it's like, yeah, of course, the government's gonna give me back some of my tax money for my student loans that I only have because they told me that I need to go to law school and to college and to get a better job, when it's kind of a scam. But I don't believe it. I don't think it's happening. So, but which is funny, that's what I told the reporter. I was like, oh yeah, I don't think that's happening. And they cut that out because the whole segment was about that. Which makes sense. Me and my realistic Raina ass was like, no, not happening. But it was cool. It was like really exciting to see. So, time for my confession. I think we can all say that I have come from a place now, because now y'all are in my money business, which I'm fine with. You guys are my accountability partners. That I am much better with my money now. You don't get to a point of allocating 65% of your paycheck to your student loans unless you have some financial sense, which took me a long time to get there, because remember when this started, I told y'all I used to ignore Sally Mae's phone calls. Literally, I blocked her number. I have like a personal hatred towards Sally Mae. So we have come a long way. I have come a long, long way to being a financially responsible, you know, person who's really trying to get it together, pay off these loans. So, and we've talked about my 401k. I have my 401k. Everything's good. You know, I would say I'm not like super risky. However, I'm beating around the bush. Time for my confession. So last week, gosh, I'm like, well, what day is it even? Last week, the week before, when did that happen? Last week, I think it was. you may have seen the rally from Wall Street Bets, which was a subreddit, which is a subreddit, they're still there, that decided to bet against Wall Street and basically invest a bunch of money into GameStop and AMC and a few other ones, which then caused the price of GameStop to go from, I think it started at like maybe $20 to $400 at its peak. And then AMC, they were doing something similar, not as big of a scale. Now, where does Stephanie and her little pennies come in? So what had happened was, my coworkers were talking about this. My coworker got in at GameStop at $50. So my coworker was making a coin. So I was like, oh, let me look. I'm curious, I'm not gonna do it. I looked. Back up 1 second as to why I would even think about the single stock. When the potpourri that's going on in the whole world started, the entire market in the US fell a little bit. Fell like a significant amount. So since I have done all this financial research, people are always like, oh, you should buy the dip. That's a good time to invest. Everything is on sale. You just have to buy and hold. I was like, okay, I have this high yield savings account with my emergency savings in it. I would never take the whole thing out. But if I'm getting, I think right now it's like dropped below 2% because the interest rates are so low, maybe I'll put $600 into this E-Trade account because most likely it's gonna grow more than the less than 2% I'm getting. $600 out of my like $8,000 emergency fund. It's a small amount, and I was like, I'm not gonna lose the money, and I'm only gonna invest in 3 companies that I really understand and know: Disney, Delta, and Salesforce. So tech, I'm from Miami, I know all about Disney World. Disney World will never go out of business. And then Delta is the best United States-based airline. So I was like, okay, cool. At the height of it, my $600 had grown to $1,000. I had made $400. I was like at 40% return rate. It was great, right? That's good. I should have been satisfied with that. I should have left it alone. No. So what had happened was, when GameStop and AMC decided to do this ridiculous amount of return, I decided to peruse in Wall Street Bets. During my perusing in the Wall Street Bets subreddit, what did I see? This. A bunch of people paying off their student loans. And can I be completely honest with you? I have never been so happy for someone I do not know in my entire life. So excited, like sheer joy. Like, wow, you paid off your student loans? Like, that's awesome. So I was like, wait, I too can pay off my student loans. So yep, you already know where this is going. So my little winnings that I already had in the E-Trade account, I was like, okay, well, technically my initial principal investment is only $600. As long as I don't touch the $600 and only play around with the $400 that I've earned, then did I really lose my money? This is going down a rabbit hole of foolishness. I'm sure you're saying like, Stephanie, yep, I did it. So I sold the Delta and I sold Disney. I sold Delta and Disney, which are great blue chip stock, like Boo Boo the Fool. And I didn't sell Salesforce. I couldn't sell the whole thing because that would be foolish. I'm not that dumb. And I used that money and invested in 36 shares of AMC at $14. Which was dumb, because you know what it's worth right now? $8. So now what was $1,000 in that account, the E-Trade account, is now $700. And I have not completely tanked my principal, but a lesson learned: do not play with things you don't understand, aka me. So I'm gonna stick to my nice little index funds and my 401k, and then post paying off my student loans, I will likely only be investing in index funds. But sometimes, even when you know not to do something, you just gotta do it. So that way you feel it and then really, really know not to do it. That was dumb. Very, very dumb. So yeah, that's how I lost $300. Yeah. Won't do it again. Won't do it again. Thing to consider, and something I was thinking about. When I bought AMC and when I was seeing people buy GameStop and AMC stocks, it was people paying for student loans, people paying for like their sister's medical bills, people donating money, like things to just get by. And how crazy is it that we live in this place, this country of opportunity that allegedly has so much money, but sensible people, I would consider myself a somewhat sensible person, are willing to gamble money to just afford basic things, to just get out of debt. Like I was like, if I lose this $300-400, I mean, but what if I get to pay off my student loans and I'm free? The what if is why I did it, to be honest. And what does that say about the society and the system that we live in? Did you guys do it? Did you guys make me feel a little bit better? Did you invest in AMC or GameStop? Or what was it also on there? BlackBerry. If you didn't, I get it. You have much better sense. I mean, some people won. Some people like did really great. Good for them. I'm like super happy for them. Yeah, I'm gonna go back on the cautious side of life and stop doing foolishness. But yeah, so as always, thank you for tuning in, for watching. If you haven't already, go and subscribe. Oh, and if you missed the January update, because a few people did tell me that it didn't pop up in their subscriptions for some reason, go ahead and watch the January update. I had set my New Year's goal / intention, which was a very big, audacious goal. So hopefully, you know, I'm trying to work towards that. You're gonna get more content. I put out some law school stuff. I'm gonna put out some more, I think like tech focused entertainment stuff as well, and then of course the legal shenanigans. So as always, if you want to see anything, just let me know in the comments what you want to see. I'll see you guys in the next video.